Chapter 564. Where did you get to know this black Jiao? Yunjioge tried to sort things out. In my dream. Little dragon man blinked and said innocently. How did he enter your dream? Yunjioge frowned. She knew that some almighties could enter other people's divine sense dream. However, there were countless calming and exorcism arrays set up in the Golden Dragon Palace. Who else could enter my son's divine sense dream so easily? I don't know. In any case, I would meet him in my dreams every time. In the beginning we were always fighting, but later on we became good friends. He was the one who defeated those two bad guys. The little dragon man had a proud expression on its face. It was proud of its friend for being so awesome. Yunjioge immediately realized that the dark boundary was made by my son's friend, Black Jiao. Her son told her everything about Black Jiao after she asked indirectly. Yunjioge was a little surprised when she found out that Black Jiao was only a 12-year-old kid. However, on second thought, no one could have such a good time with my son other than a kid. Tell our son that we would like to meet this friend of his if we have the chance. Ask him to invite him to our divine palace as a guest. Zishang's voice traveled into Yunjioge's ears. Yunjioge felt that this was an excellent idea and immediately suggested it to my son. Then wait for a moment. Little dragon man immediately lay down and fell asleep instantly. The dream was still in the myriad flower spirit garden. As the crown prince had just taken control of little dragon man's body, he still had a trace of consciousness left in his dream. Black Jiao, my mother wants to invite you to our house for a meal. Little dragon man straightforwardly told his parents' request. Sorry, I can't go. I live too far away from you. The crown prince shook his head. Ogre was killed and they hadn't found the new passageway key. All right, I will tell them. Little dragon man nodded and woke up from his dream. Then he said to his mother, Black Jiao said he can't come because he lives too far away from us. Is that so? That's such a pity. Yunjioge instinctively felt that Black Jiao wasn't simple, but she didn't dare to push him too hard in case it caused a misunderstanding. Mother, I want to visit father and then look for Xiaomeng and the rest to play. The little dragon man turned over and got off the bed. After lying down for 3 days he felt that his neck was hurting. Don't let him find me. Zishang was anxious. His great image as a father could not be destroyed. Baby, your father is currently in closed-door training. He will be able to come out and see us in a few days, so you should go and play with the little baby first. Yunjioge lowered his head and kissed his son. All right. However, I want to go see big sister Xianxia first. The little dragon man picked up a pink crystal on the table and said, I'll give this to her. She'll definitely recover very quickly after seeing it. Go, she will be very happy to see you. Yunjioge rubbed Xianxia's furry little head and asked the 1,000 Kills sect to escort him to Xianxia's room. After the little dragon man left, Yunjioge's smiling face immediately darkened and he said to Wan Sha, Where are the 2 assassins locked up? I'm locked in the light prison. Wan Sha brought Yunjioge to the Divine Palace's dungeon. The Divine Palace's dungeon was divided into 3 parts: dark prison, light prison, and water prison. They were used to deal with different races. The 2 black shadow monsters cultivated the power of dark magic, so the light prison was definitely a torture to them. The light prison was embedded with 5 huge crystal mirrors. Holy white light was refracted by the mirrors and shone in every corner of the room, ensuring that there were no shadows. Yunjioge walked into the light prison and saw 2 black balls that were nailed in a corner and shivering. Are these the 2 things that broke into the Divine Palace? Yunjioge looked at the 2 balls of light that were so weak that they were about to disappear. That's right, it's them. They wanted to commit suicide, but I nailed them with the soul-locking needles. If it wasn't for the fact that he wanted to leave them for Yunjioge to see, he would have turned them into ashes long ago. Who sent you? Yunjioge's fingers moved slightly, and 2 rays of white light that were filled with a holy aura landed on them. Roar, roar. 2 shrill cries sounded from the black balls, accompanied by the smell of burning. Not talking? Yunjioge drew a few more rays of holy light and burned the 2 black balls black. Unfortunately, apart from the cries, he didn't get anything. It seems like they are under a restriction that prevents them from revealing the truth. Wan Sha shook his head. He had already interrogated them once, but he didn't get anything. Then there is no point in keeping them. Yunjioge opened his hands, and the grayish-white devouring silk flew out and devoured the 2 black balls cleanly. How is it? Did you get any information? Wan Sha asked. They used the blood demon flower to break the barrier restriction to enter the divine palace. Yun Jioga's expression wasn't too good. The blood demon flower was a type of extremely vicious devil domain life form. It grew by gathering the resentment of heaven and earth. After it was born, it would devour many thousand-year-old spirit beasts. During that period of time, all the high-tier spirit beasts in the Azure Wave realm were in a state of panic. Eventually she had to personally capture this evil creature. Didn't you destroy the blood demon flower? Why are there still people using it? Wan Sha also had designs on the blood demon flower, but before he could find it, it was already destroyed by Yun Jioga. Maybe I missed a few back then. Yun Jioga lowered her eyes and kept the moon spirit silk. Impossible. I searched the entire devil domain a few times, but I didn't even find a single flower bud. Wan Sha shook his head. After he returned to the devil race, he organized a search team and confirmed that there were no more blood demon flowers. Let's put this matter aside for now. Send someone to search carefully and find out where they cast the spell. Then mend the barrier. Yun Jioga instructed. The barrier created by the blood demon flower was very long-lasting. If they didn't mend it in time, someone else would sneak in again. I will send someone to do it now. Wan Sha nodded and turned to leave the light prison. Yun Jioga was the only one left in the light prison. Zishang sneakily popped his head out from her pocket and whispered, I remember that you gave the blood demon flowers to Fan Yin to destroy. That's right. Because only his purple serene 9-yang true fire can completely destroy the blood demon flowers. Yun Jioga was in a terrible mood. Anyone who found out that they were betrayed by their friend wouldn't feel good. It seems like we have a sufficient reason to look for him. Zishang also wanted to know why Fan Yin broke the promise and betrayed her friend. Let's find out about Longer's mysterious friend first. Yun Jioga let out a breath. She didn't want her son to make a bad friend and be led astray. Then I will go and rest first. Tonight we will meet his friend together. Zishang retracted his head and closed his eyes to rest. He was trying his best to digest the flower spirit pearl and flower spirit water that he swallowed today. Chapter 565. After Yun Jioga left the dungeon, he went to Yu Qing'er's room. Her room was beside the Golden Dragon Palace. It was built entirely with white jade spiritual wood, and there was a small spirit vein buried underneath. It was very beneficial for spirit race's cultivation. Your Highness. Qing'er was lying on the white jade ice bed, covered by an ice soul silk blanket. When she saw Yun Jioga, she wanted to get up and greet him. Your injuries haven't healed yet. Lie down. Yun Jioga gently pressed Qing'er back onto the bed. Your Highness, it's my fault for being useless. I couldn't stop those two assassins. Qing'er had a guilty expression. She was known for her poor aptitude in the spirit race. She was favored by the goddess to take care of the little prince, but she couldn't even stop an assassin. He was really useless. What nonsense are you talking about? If not for your timely warning, Wan Sha wouldn't have been able to catch those two assassins. Yun Jioga put a pillow on Qing'er's back and carefully checked her injuries. Although Wan Sha had already given her the best spirit medicine in the palace, the wound on her abdomen was still oozing blood. One could imagine how serious her injuries were. Your Highness, don't comfort me. If my sister was here, she would definitely be able to take down those two assassins. Thinking of her sister, Yu Qing'er's pretty face revealed a sad expression. Her sister was the most outstanding spiritualist of the spirit race in thousands of years, and also the most undisputed clan leader. In the end, she used the most hated method of the spirit race to commit suicide, causing the Yu family's reputation to plummet. Now she only hoped to rebuild the family's reputation. You are you and she is her. Don't always compare yourself with her. Just do your own thing. Yun Jioga knew that many things were easier said than done, so he changed the topic. Little dragon came to see you? Yes, the little prince gave it to me. Yu Qing'er looked at the pink crystal at the head of the bed. She had taken care of the little dragon man for so long and knew how stingy it was when it loved treasures. It was really rare to get such a pink crystal. Rest well. Little dragon still needs your care. Keep these 2 spirit fruits and eat them after you recover. Yun Jioga took out 2 ripened 7-star fruits and placed them beside the pink crystal. These spirit fruits were also very beneficial to the spirit race. Thank you, Your Highness. I will work hard to recover. Yu Qing also wanted to return to the Golden Dragon Palace. Qing, has your sister met with Fan Yin after returning to the spirit race? Yun Jioga asked. Sanskrit sound? I'm not too sure about that, but Big Sister seems to have used the universe mirror to investigate the situation in the lower realms, replied Yu Qing. Think about it carefully. What did your older sister see in the lower realms? Was there anything related to the sound of Brahma? Yun Jioga asked. Big Sister checked the 100,000 mountain range in the lower realm. As for Sanskrit sound, Yu Qing racked her brains and finally remembered something. The universe mirror that Big Sister used was given by Sanskrit sound. The universe mirror wasn't considered a valuable item in the Azure Wave domain, but she remembered that her elder sister once received an item from the lower domain. Inside the item was a simple and crude universe mirror, which left an impression on her. So Yu Ling'er's death is related to him. Yun Jioga's heart felt stifled. When Yu Ling'er said that it was Li Wei who encouraged her to commit suicide, she felt it was strange. Yu Ling'er wasn't a weak person and her relationship with Li Wei was very ordinary. How could she choose to commit suicide because of a few words from him? If it was Sanskrit sound, it would be different. This guy was always eloquent and good at persuading others. Even when Yun Jioga encountered difficulties, she would ask for his opinion. If Sanskrit sound planted a seed in Yu Ling'er's heart, then Li Wei came over to add fuel to the fire and easily burn her to ashes. Your Highness, who do you think is related to Big Sister's death? Is it Sanskrit sound? Yu Qing suddenly sat up on the bed. You heard wrong. I am saying that your sister's death is a pity. Yun Jioga came back to his senses and quickly dispelled Yu Qing's thoughts. He didn't want this silly girl to rush to the lower realms and do stupid things. Oh. Yu Qing slowly lay back down. Rest well. I will bring Long to see you tomorrow. Yun Jioga returned to his bedroom with a worried expression. What is it? Asked Zishang. I am thinking that Sanskrit sound taking the initiative to go to the lower realms to train was also a scheme. Yun Jioga was depressed. It must be. Back then he arranged for Yin Shirley to help us so he could monitor us. Zishang flew out of Yun Jioga's pocket and curled up on her knees. Yun Jioga touched Zishang's smooth back and recalled what happened in the mystic realm. Although Yin Shirley wasn't there when he dealt with Og, it was very likely that it was the little dragon man who did it. Sanskrit sound did everything possible to make you go to the lower realms to find him. He must be up to no good. It is best if we can lure him to Tsonglan realm. The lower realms were Sanskrit sound's territory. Finding him was like walking into a trap. Moreover, he had the blood demon flower. He won't come up. Yun Jioga shook her head. In the past she invited Sanskrit sound a few times, but he rejected them all. Even when the calamity came he didn't come up, let alone now. If Tsonglan realm has something he needs, he will definitely come up. Zishang pondered deeply. Then what do you think it is? Asked Yun Jioga. Your godhead and our child. Zishang said solemnly. What do you mean? Yun Jioga lifted Zishang's claw in front of her, stared into his eyes and said, Don't tell me you want to use the child as bait. Do you believe that I will eat you? Long is also my child. How can I use him as bait? Zishang felt wronged. Was he that crazy? Sorry, I was just too nervous. Yun Jioga hugged Zishang and buried her face in his neck. I know. How about this? Let's put aside the matter of Sanskrit sound and deal with that black Jiao Jiao first. Zishang licked Yun Jioga's cheek comfortingly. And I will go and bring Longer back now. Yun Jioga got a purple monkey flower essence from Hua Manchu. My son would definitely like it. At this moment, the little dragon man was dancing in the myriad flower spirit garden and talking about the experience of last night's assassination. The little baby was stunned. Xiao Chao was nervously grabbing the tip of the little dragon man's tail. These assassins are too bold. They actually dared to break into the divine palace. They deserve to die. The little baby said angrily. Long don't be afraid. I will protect you tonight. Xiao Chao said seriously. I will go too. Fei Fei circled above the little dragon man's head. I want to go too. The treasure-seeking scorpion couple also came out. That's great. Then let's sleep together tonight. The little dragon man happily revealed its white teeth. It would definitely be fun with so many companions. Yun Jioga didn't have any objections to the adorable pets coming to help his son keep vigil. Not only did he prepare a sumptuous dinner for them, but he also played with them for a long time. When it was late at night, Yunjioga sent the adorable pets away to find a place to rest in the Golden Dragon Palace. Find a place to rest. Don't talk or fight at night. Yes. The adorable pets answered in unison and found their own places. Fei Fei stopped at the big lamp inlaid with luminous pearls and white crystals in the corner. The little baby walked around the gorgeous treasure compartment and finally occupied the position of the emerald cabbage on the second floor. The treasure-seeking scorpion couple crawled into the carpet while Xiao Chao crawled under the little dragon man's big bed. Chapter 566. Mother, are you going to stay here with me tonight? The little dragon man laid on the golden bed and hugged the purple monkey flower spirit without letting go. Yes, baby, so hurry up and sleep. Yunjioga helped put the purple monkey flower spirit on the golden mahogany cabinet at the head of the bed, then pulled up the soft cloud blanket to cover its stomach. But I haven't visited father today. The little dragon man yawned and used its fat paw to rub its eyes. Let's go visit him together tomorrow. Sleep. Yunjioga placed his hand on the little dragon man's body and gently patted it. The little dragon man slowly closed its eyes, and its stomach rose and fell evenly as it gradually entered dreamland. Yunjioga saw that its breathing was stable and called out softly, "Dragon or dragoner?" The little dragon man was sleeping very soundly and was even snoring. "All right, dragoner is asleep." Yunjioga took out Zishang and stuffed it into the little blanket. Zishang nimbly coiled around the little dragon man's side and placed its paw on his chest before sending a voice transmission to Yunjioga. "I'm ready. Then let's sleep together." Yunjioga placed his head on the pillow and forced himself to quickly fall asleep. After about the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn, Yunjioga successfully fell asleep. "Why are you so slow?" Zishang walked out from the darkness with a dissatisfied expression. "I'm not a dragon, how can I sleep so quickly?" Yunjioga sized up Zishang and said with a sigh, "I almost forgot what your human form looks like. It's only been a year. Your memory is too bad. I haven't forgotten your appearance for 2,000 years. Zishang was very dissatisfied. If it was not because the little dragon man had not seen his human form, he would not have waited for Yunjioga. "It's just a joke. Why so serious? Let's go and find dragon." Yunjioga walked up and pulled Zishang's hand as they entered the little dragon man's dreamland from the darkness. The little dragon man's dreamland turned into the Golden Dragon Palace. A golden table embedded with jewels was filled with all sorts of delicious food. There was Xianxia scallops, hibiscus prawns, crispy Buddha's hand, lotus seed porridge, spicy beef. These were all tonight's menu. There was also a boy of about 12 sitting at the table. He had deep facial features and a handsome face. There was a pair of strange black spiral horns on his head, and his eyes were as dark as the bottomless ocean. The black brocade robe he wore was embroidered with extremely complicated dark patterns. The dark patterns on the clothes of the big clans in the upper realm all had a history, but Yunjioga had never seen those dark patterns before. "Blackie, this hibiscus prawn is very delicious. Quickly try it." The little dragon man picked up a piece of prawn and passed it to the crown prince. The crown prince didn't eat it. Instead, he looked in Yunjioga's direction warily and shouted, "Who's there?" The little dragon man followed his gaze and shouted in surprise, "Hey father, mother, why are you here? Didn't you always want to see father? So I brought him here." Yunjioga patted Zishang's hand and said to his son, "This should be the first time you've seen your father in human form." "No, I saw my father's human form when I was still in your stomach." The little dragon man ran to his father happily and reached out for a hug. "Father, you're finally awake. That's great. Baby, I missed you so much." Zishang hugged his son in his arms and kissed his little face. The little dragon man hugged his father's neck and giggled. Aren't you going to introduce your new friend to us?" Yunjioga put on a motherly smile and looked at the mysterious boy sitting at the table. "I almost forgot." The little dragon man struggled to get out of his father's arms and took the two people's hands to the table. "This is my good friend Blackie Jiao. Hello, Uncle Auntie. I'm the crown prince of the ancient black demon race, Xiao Agate. It's our first time meeting." Crown Prince Xiao stood up and greeted them politely. "You're the crown prince of the ancient black demon race?" Yunjioga thought he was hallucinating. "That's right." Xiao nodded faintly. "Then do you know ogre?" Yunjioga asked. Ogre is the key to the passage of our ancient black demon race. I heard that he was killed by you some time ago. Xiu's face was calm without any special expression. Then are you here for revenge now? Zhang quietly moved his feet and protected his wife and son behind him. Uncle Auntie, don't be nervous. The demon race pays attention to the survival of the strong. Ogre was not as skilled as others, so it was his fate to be killed. Xiu looked reasonable. I see. Yunjioga smiled, but he didn't really believe it. What the hell are you talking about? The little dragon man blinked its eyes and looked puzzled. Nothing. Xiu rushed to answer first. Why don't we sit down and talk while eating? Zhang could feel that the crown prince of the ancient black demon race had no malice towards his son. If he really wanted to harm the little dragon man, he wouldn't have saved him before. Little Black, this is also very delicious. Try it. The little dragon man took a cup of walnut milk ice and handed it to Xiu. Baby, you can't eat dessert before the main meal. Yunjioga held down the little hand of the little dragon man. Even in his dreams he couldn't give up. Well, we will eat dessert later. You should eat this fried chicken steak. It's a very delicious folk delicacy. The little dragon man recommended a delicious dish to his little friend. It's fragrant and crispy. It's really delicious. Xiu ate it up. Xiu, since you are not here to avenge Ogre, why did you come here? Zhang asked half-jokingly. Could it be that your ancient black demon race still hasn't given up and still wants to take the origin power of our Blue Waves continent? Uncle, Auntie, you don't need to worry. My father king and mother empress want the origin power of Blue Waves continent because they want to remove the curse on me, that's all. Since little golden dragon is already my friend, I will dispel their thoughts. Xiu sipped a mouthful of spirit orange juice and placed the crystal cup back on the table. The way he ate was very elegant and decent, many times better than the little dragon man who ate roughly. It could be seen that he was a well-educated child, which was really rare in the demon race. Can you tell Auntie what curse you are suffering from? Yunjioga asked with concern. As a parent, she knew very well that the words of a child couldn't count. Only by finding a way to solve the curse on Xiu's body could it be possible to dispel the idea of his parents. I am suffering from the curse of the ancient white demon race. They and we have always been incompatible like water and fire. After the ancient white demon race learned that I had innate dark devil body, they were worried that our strength would surpass theirs, so they cursed me, making me lose my legs and forever unable to remove the light. Although my father and mother destroyed the ancient white demon race and killed their high priest, they didn't find a way to remove the curse. Xiu unhurriedly and simply explained the matter. His expression was very calm, as if such a tragedy didn't happen to him. Chapter 567. Your parents are crazy. Yunjioga originally thought that some crazy demon wanted to seize the origin power of the Kanglan continent to rule the world. She did not expect the truth to be like this. Father and mother are worried about me, so they are desperate. After Xiu was cursed at the age of 12, he was sealed in an ice coffin by his parents for 3,000 years. His parents seized power everywhere to resist the erosion of the curse, but they could not hold on for long. If they could not find a way, he might die. It seems that you are very powerful. She did not know how strong Xiu was, but she admired him for being able to face life and death so calmly at such a young age. Of course. Xiu showed strong confidence. If he was not powerful, how could the ancient white demon race be so afraid that they did not hesitate to use their great power to curse him? But you are cursed now. Zhang said truthfully. My life is cursed, not the power of dark magic. Xiu said faintly. The destruction of the ancient white demon race was also due to his contribution. Little Black, what is the power of dark magic? The little dragon man asked curiously. The power of dark magic. Xiu said concisely. It sounds so powerful. Can I practice it? The little dragon man looked expectant. Yes, as long as you close your 5 senses and stay in the darkness for 3,000 years. Xiu replied. 3,000 years, that's too miserable. It's even more pitiful than a little cute baby. The little dragon man looked at Xiu sympathetically. The little cute baby often used his experience of being trapped to scare children. If they were not obedient, they would be locked up like him. Who is this little cute baby? Xiu asked doubtfully. He is my mother's tool spirit, and the myriad flowers spirit garden was created by him. The little dragon man talked to Xiu about his little friend. Xiu listened very seriously. Occasionally when he heard some embarrassing things he would give face and laugh out loud. Yun Jioge gave Zhixiang a look, and the two left the table and went to the corner to set up a boundary. What this child said just now is the truth. Zhixiang's demon eyes could be used even in the dream. Then we must help him undo the curse. Yun Jioge said in a low voice. But we are not good at this. The ancient black demon race was so powerful that they could not do it, let alone them. Have I ever told you that my divine spark can dispel all curses? Yun Jioge said. Every continent had its own unique characteristics. The Blue Wave continent's source of divine power was precisely to drive out divine power. This was also the reason why the ancient black demon race had designs on the Blue Wave continent. Yun Jioge inherited this characteristic, but she followed her mother's will and lied, saying that the banishment was holy light. Because she had been behaving like a saint ever since she became a goddess, no one doubted her. Didn't you tell me that you're going to cultivate your godhead? Zhixiang looked at Yun Jioge as if he was looking at a madman. If I help him dispel the curse, I can get the godhood back in the future. Yun Jioge did have this intention. The premise is that he's willing to pay it back. Zhixiang suddenly interrupted Yun Jioge and said, think about that evil ogre. Do you think that the ancient black demon race is a race that keeps its word? I'm afraid that if you give him the divine spark he will immediately take over the Azure Waves continent. Yun Jioge didn't refute Zhixiang's words because this was also what she was worried about. If she took the initiative to hand over the divine spark, it would be difficult to get it back. Instead of giving it to the black bone demon race, I might as well use it to lure Fan Yin. As long as we get rid of this tumor, our Azure Waves continent will be united and we won't be afraid of the ancient black demon race. Zhixiang said. If we kill Fan Yin, there will be countless Fan Yin in the future. No one can resist the temptation of power. If Fan Yin can sell us to the ancient black demon race, there will be others who will do the same thing. We need a reliable friend to lead us to the Beyond Heaven Alliance. Otherwise we will become food for the otherworldly demons sooner or later. Yun Jioge had divined that countless continents were destroyed by the otherworldly demons. Seclusion wouldn't solve the problem. They had to jump out and become a member of the Beyond Heaven Alliance. Only then would they be safe. Even so, we don't have to choose it. Zhixiang still didn't agree. If Long can become friends with Xiu, it means they are fated. If I make the wrong choice, I will take responsibility. Yun Jioge didn't want to leave a mess for Long. Zhixiang was silent for a moment before saying, this is a serious matter. We don't have to rush to a conclusion. Let's first observe Xiu's demonic item and see if he has any say in the race. Yun Jioge and Zhixiang came to an agreement. Just as they were about to return to the long table, Wan Sha's voice suddenly came from his dream. Your Highness, wake up. Something happened. Yun Jioge opened his eyes and saw the red-robed maid kneeling beside him with Wan Sha's sound-transmitting talisman. What's wrong? Yun Jioge asked as he picked up the voice transmission talisman. There is news from the demonic forest. Hua Manchu was captured and brought to the lower realm. Wan Sha's anxious voice came from his dream. Who captured him? Yun Jioge suddenly sat up. Zhixiang also crawled out from under the quilt. I heard from his trusted guards that the human-faced Peach King pretended to have something to report and lured him to the dungeon. Then it suddenly exploded and swept him away. The human-faced Peach King also left a message saying that if you want to save him, go to the lower realm on the day of the full moon. Wan Sha said. Damn it. Yun Jioge clenched his fists. Fan Yin must have used blood demon flowers on the human-faced Peach King. Fan Yin planned for this day for 2,000 years. If we do as he says, we will be in a passive situation. Zhixiang said. I know. There must be a special meaning for Fan Yin to choose the night of the full moon. She must find a trump card to catch Fan Yin off guard. Why don't we lure Xiu to Fan Yin? Zhixiang immediately thought of a solution. How? Xiu didn't look like a fool. Just say that Fan Yin can help him remove the curse. In any case, Fan Yin likes to do these things. Zhixiang said. Let's give it a try. Yun Jioge also couldn't think of a good idea. While Xiu hasn't left, let's go talk to him. Zhixiang got into his son's quilt. Let's go. Yun Jioge fell asleep again. His son and Xiu were still eating at the table. They didn't notice that their father and mother had just left. Xiu, there is something I want to talk to you about. Yun Jioge sat down and said. Please speak. Xiao politely put down the cup and looked straight into Yun Jioga's eyes. In our Blue Waves continent, there is a person who is very good at removing curses. Do you want to find him and give it a try? Yun Jioga said. How good is he? Xiao didn't get excited because of the words of Yun Jioga. He still maintained a calm appearance. About 70%, but this person is not easy to deal with. I need your help, Yun Jioga sincerely said. Chapter 568. I can give it a try if I have 70% confidence, but our black ancient demon race hasn't found a new passage key yet. It's not that easy to come over. Xiao said calmly. No need for the passage key. Longer has the power of space. If you trust him, I'll let him bring you over. Yun Jioga said. I trust him. Xiao nodded without hesitation. His father and mother once asked a great expert to help him calculate, saying that his opportunity was in Kanglan continent. Maybe it was this time. Okay, I'll unlock Longer's seal later. I'll pick you up after a month. Is that okay? Yun Jioga asked. Yes. 1 month was enough for him to prepare everything. Then I'll take Longer out first. Yun Jioga took Longer's hand and took the lead to leave the dream. Little Dragon Man was at a loss from beginning to end. He didn't know what was going on at all. After all, he had just been born for more than a year and couldn't be compared with Xiao, that evildoer. Baby, it's like this. Your little friend Xiao is sick. I want to bring him over to be treated, but the place he lives is too far away. I need your spatial force to bring him over. Are you willing to help him? Yun Jioga hugged his son and coaxed. Of course. Little Dragon Man wanted to introduce Xiao Meng, Xiao Chao and the others to Black Jiao Jiao to play together. Okay, I'll unlock the seal on you now. It may be a little uncomfortable, but it'll be fine soon. Yun Jioga kissed Longer's chubby face. It's okay, I'm not afraid of pain. Little Dragon Man said proudly, puffing up his small chest. Baby, close your eyes first. Yun Jioga said softly. Little Dragon Man immediately closed his eyes. Yun Jioga and Zishang, who was hiding on the bed, looked at each other. Zishang nodded, indicating that he would protect Long. Yun Jioga took a deep breath, put his hand on Longer's Baihui acupoint, and then mobilized his divine power into Longer's Sea of Consciousness. Little Dragon Man's Sea of Consciousness was a vast and gentle sea. The sky was reflected in a pure blue color. There was a golden island in the middle of the sea, which was the seal Yun Jioga gave him. Originally, she thought that Longer would not be in any danger under her protection, so she gave him a 100-year seal. If it was removed prematurely, it would affect her son to a certain extent, so she was very worried. Yun Jioga released his golden divine power to destroy the island. When the island completely disappeared, the sky suddenly darkened. Then a strong wind blew, stirring up waves in the calm sea. Yun Jioga anxiously used his divine power to comfort her, but it was to no avail. Baby, hold fast to your heart. Zishang's voice came from the sky, and a huge shadow of a black dragon appeared in the sky, using its dragon power to disperse the gathered wind and waves. Yun Jioga heaved a sigh of relief and slowly opened his eyes. He saw that Zishang was grabbing his son's little hand and his forehead was covered in sweat. The sun is not up yet. Let him sleep a little longer. Yun Jioga carefully placed Fatty back on the big bed and covered him with a small blanket. Then let's go find Wan Sha to understand the situation. Zishang kissed Xiao Chubby's cheeks, then landed on the ground and transformed into his human form. Although his demon body hadn't fully recovered, maintaining his human form wasn't a problem. Yun Jioga and Zishang left the Golden Dragon Palace and found Wan Sha in the Mirage Flower Watermoon Palace. Your Highness, you came at the right time. I'm currently talking to Hua Manchu's men. Do you want to see him? Wan Sha asked. Wait a minute. Yun Jioga said to Zishang, go invisible. Don't let them see you. All right. Zishang readily went invisible. Wan Sha pressed on the spirit stone switch and the huge water mirror rippled. Soon a sharp-eared, dark-skinned fairy warrior appeared. Yun Jioga recognized him. He was Hua Manchu's trusted guard, Qi Ri. Subordinate greets Lady Goddess. Qi Ri bowed respectfully. Tell me about Hua Manchu's capture. Yun Jioga sat on the phoenix chair in front of the water mirror. The water mirror of the God Palace was as tall as 2 people. It was made from the highest grade of water moon crystal, and there were 2 fist-sized spirit stones embedded on the side. Qi told the story and it was similar to what Wan Sha had said. Bring the water mirror to the dungeon. I want to investigate it personally, Yun Jioge said. Yes. Qi carried the water mirror to the dungeon. He pointed to a cage made of green thorns and said, the king was captured here. Yun Jioge looked carefully. However, his perception was not strong through the water mirror. He had to use his spiritual consciousness to search carefully. I'll go with you. Zishang saw through Yun Jioge's thoughts and whispered to him. Yun Jioge waved her hand and created a cloud to cover the water mirror. She then said to Zishang, no need. I can go by myself. You stay here and protect me. She was much more proficient in releasing her spiritual consciousness than Zishang. All right. Be careful. Zishang also knew that although his physical body was strong, his spiritual consciousness was far worse than Yun Jioge's. Yun Jioge nodded. She then waved the water mirror away and said to Qi, who was still standing in the same place, close the dungeon. Clear away all the irrelevant people. I want to take a look personally. Yes. Qi turned around and quickly drove all the warriors out. He then closed the dungeon. Yun Jioge closed her eyes. Her spiritual consciousness left her body through the water mirror and arrived in front of the green thorns cage. Her soul body exuded a faint golden light. Her 5 senses were raised to the highest level. Her spiritual consciousness repeatedly searched the dungeon. She did not let go of any corner. Zishang stood in front of the water mirror to help Yun Jioge search. When Yun Jioge's spiritual consciousness swept past the left corner, it instantly reflected a small red light. However, it quickly disappeared. Look at the left corner. There seems to be something there. Zishang said with his sharp eyes. Yun Jioge walked over and found a small red petal falling from the thorns. It was stuck in the middle of the thorns. It was mixed with the flower that grew from the thorns. She waved her hand and picked the red flower. She sniffed it carefully. It was the smell of Hua Manchu. This was his natal red flower. How is it? Zishang asked. I found Hua Manchu's natal flower. With this thing she could search for Hua Manchu. Then come back. Zishang said. Yun Jioge was about to use the water mirror to return. Suddenly, a layer of blood mist permeated the soles of her feet. 2 blood-stained skeletal hands grabbed her feet. A golden light burst from Yun Jioge's feet. She broke free from the shackles of the skeletal hands and opened the dungeon door. The outside was filled with blood-stained skeletons. Qi and the other fairy warriors were surrounded. Your Highness, leave quickly. Qi cut off the head of a skeleton and turned to Yun Jioge. Get out of the way. Yun Jioge flicked her finger and released a golden divine fire. The moment it landed on the ground, it burned away the blood mist. Chapter 569. Qi walked in front of Yun Jioge and said guiltily, Your Highness, I don't know where these white bone puppets came from. The barrier didn't make a sound at all. Immediately send someone to check the barrier. These people have a secret way to enter the barrier. I'm afraid your king was kidnapped this way. Yun Jioge didn't say anything about the blood demon flower because it was useless. These fairy warriors couldn't deal with it. This subordinate will immediately send someone to check. I wonder if your Highness found any clues about the king? Qi asked loyally. Already have a plan. Before that, you just need to guard the Demoness Forest. After Yun Jioge ordered Qi to strengthen the barrier's patrol, she went through the water mirror and returned to Zishang's side. Fan Yin is getting more and more arrogant. Zishang also saw those white bone guards just now. To be able to break through the barrier with so many puppets, the blood demon flower was more terrible than before. Fan Yin must have used some special method to upgrade it. Don't worry, he won't be arrogant for too long. Yun Jioge took out the red petals found in the Demoness Forest. Once Xiao came, they could go to the lower realm. My lord, Fan Yin betrayed us. Why not publicize his evil deeds and organize the major races of the Azure Wave domain to go to the lower realm to destroy him? Wan Sha was very puzzled. Now the people of the Azure Wave domain are not what they used to be. In addition, the power of our divine palace is weakened. When the time comes, there will be fewer people to help. I'm afraid there will be many people who will hit us when we are down. Yun Jioge shook her head. After the tempering of 2 lives, she was not as arrogant as before. Then I will go to the demon race to gather more warriors to help. Wan Sha said frankly. It's useless to have more people. I have found a way to deal with Fan Yin. Yun Jioga's trump card was Xiao. Xiao's dark magic power could easily deal with the two shadow monsters. For Fan Yin, he was a big nemesis. Moreover, he never thought that he would ask the crown prince of the black ancient demon race to help. Our son should wake up soon. Let's go and see. Zishang didn't see his son for one day. Yun Jioga and Zishang returned to the Golden Dragon Palace. His son had already woken up and was playing with the cute pets. Father, mother, you're back. The little dragon man rushed over like a cannonball and then hung around his father's neck like a koala bear. Zishang's face was filled with love as he hugged and kissed his son. He looked as if he had forgotten about his wife after having a son. Yun Jioga had no choice but to interrupt the father and son. He snatched Fatty into his arms and asked, "Baby, before you woke up, did Black Jiao Jiao say anything to you?" "Yes, he stuffed something into my hand and said that he could use this to find me." The little dragon man opened up its chubby little claw, and there was a black whirlpool-like object in the middle of its palm. "What is this?" Yun Jioga released his divine sense to explore and found that it was a deep and deathly still seawater, which made people feel very uncomfortable. Black Jiao Jiao said that this is his home address. "When I'm ready, I can go and find him." The little dragon man touched the black whirlpool on its palm thoughtlessly and did not feel the pressure of the deep sea at all. "Baby, if you want to find Black Jiao Jiao, you must first learn how to control your ability and then use it flexibly," Yun Jioga said seriously. "What should I do then?" The little dragon man looked confused. "Your father will teach you." Yun Jioga stuffed Fatty back into Zishang's arms and called the little baby over. He asked, "Are the seeds of the black hole tree still there?" "Yes, there's still a lot of them." The little baby nodded. "Good. Later, go back to the Myriad Flower Spirit Garden and plant a patch of black hole trees. In the future, let Long go there to practice the power of space." The black hole tree that Yun Jioga was talking about was a plant that had the power of space. These black hole trees were very short and were only as tall as a door. They looked normal on the outside, but as long as one walked within a meter of them, they would be pulled into the black hole. By the time people realized it, many people had already been swallowed by the black hole trees and disappeared. Yun Jioga personally led people to uproot all the black hole trees and only left some seeds for emergencies. Now they were finally put to use. "I'm going now." The little baby had long wanted to plant these black hole trees for fun. He opened up a new space in the Myriad Flowers Spirit Garden and planted 49 black hole trees according to the blueprints given by Yun Jioga. Then he used the vegetation spirit to grow them and completed the task in 7 days. Come and see your new toy." Yun Jioga and Zishang took Long to the black hole tree garden. "Mother, what is this? How do I play with it?" The little dragon man asked excitedly. "These are called black hole trees. Their bodies can connect to all kinds of channels. All you have to do is to identify the right channel and then bring this 7-star fruit back." Yun Jioga asked the little baby to put a 7-star fruit behind the first tree. "Okay, I'll try." The little dragon man closed his eyes and his divine sense went through the black hole to find the fruit. At first he was still a little unfamiliar with it, but he soon grasped the essentials and took the 7-star fruit from behind the black hole tree. "Baby, you're great. Try to put it further away this time." Yun Jioga put the fruit behind the second black hole tree. The little dragon man took it back smoothly and then couldn't wait to let the little baby continue to put the fruit. "Very good. According to this progress, there will be no problem at all in a month." Zishang looked at his son with a gratified expression. He was indeed his son, he learned quickly. "Well, you stay here with him. I'll go and arrange things in the lower world." Yun Jioga couldn't put all his treasures on Xiao. He also had to make some arrangements himself. Go. Zishang's eyes were always on his son and he didn't even look at Yun Jioga. Yun Jioga was really depressed, but thinking that he had been trapped in the eggshell for a year and had not been intimate with his son, she reluctantly forgave him. In the following days, Yun Jioga sent a lot of people to the lower world to investigate Sanskrit, and then took out the high-level puppets collected by the Divine Palace to let Wan Sha practice, trying to build a powerful puppet army. In the Black Hole Tree Garden, the little dragon man's training was also very smooth. He had successfully obtained the 7-star fruit from behind the 10th tree, but he encountered a problem after the 11th tree. The channels inside began to appear at crossroads and they were constantly changing. The little dragon man failed several times but was not discouraged. Instead, he became more excited. Tomorrow he would practice in the garden and not even go back to the Golden Dragon Palace. When he was tired, he would adjust his breath in the same place and then continue to practice. Normally, Yunjioga would not let him do this, but now the situation was special. She also hoped that her son could quickly familiarize himself with his ability and smoothly take over Xiao. Zhou accompanied his son in the Black Hole Forest every day. The relationship between the father and son soared. Yunjioga was a little jealous. Unfortunately, she was too busy and could only cultivate her relationship with her son in the future. Chapter 570. In the lower domain, there was a magnificent temple that was filled with incense and incense. A handsome monk was sitting on a praying mat in the center of the temple. He was holding a string of bodhi seeds and chanting sutras with his eyes closed. Suddenly, a cold wind blew in the temple and a red skull appeared in front of the monk. He knelt on one knee and reported, "Master Fan Yin, the Azure Wave Domain's informant has sent back news. He said that the Divine Palace is in a big commotion and might come to the lower domain to find you soon. Are there any rumors about the Blood Soul Flower in the Azure Wave Domain?" Fan Yin opened his eyes, which were flickering with deep radiance. The Divine Palace is very secretive about the news. There are no rumors about the Blood Demon Flower in the Azure Wave Domain. The Red Skull said. It seems like Yunjioga has learned his lesson. Fan Yin muttered to himself. He originally thought that if Yunjioga exposed his true colors, he would expose the secret technique of the Blood Soul Flower and cause chaos in the Azure Wave Domain. Now that Yunjioga was biding his time, he couldn't make a move. "Master, do you want to send someone to sneak into the Divine Palace to scout for information?" The Red Skull asked. "No need. Keep a close eye on the Divine Palace. If they come to the lower domain, just report in time," Fan Yin said indifferently. He had prepared for this day for more than 2,000 years and was just waiting for Yunjioga to walk into the trap. "Yes." The Red Skull nodded and instantly vanished without a trace. Fan Yin got up and walked out of the temple. He looked at the distant sky and muttered to himself, "After so many years, I can finally take revenge for foster father." At this moment, Yunjioga was in the Myriad Flower Garden to witness his son successfully completing the mission. He finally took out the 49 7-star fruits accurately from the back of the black hole tree. "Ah, I finally did it." Xiao Longren jumped up excitedly. "Some well done." Zhou was honored to be able to see his son improving day by day. This feeling of satisfaction was even happier than when he killed the previous demon emperor. "All right, baby. Quickly go back and rest. If Black Jiao Jiao comes to your dream again tonight, tell him that we will pick him up 3 days later." Yunjioga rubbed his son's head. "I know." Xiao Longren also wanted to share his joy with his good friend. He returned to the Golden Dragon Palace. After washing up, he lay on the golden bed and fell asleep almost as soon as he closed his eyes. Yunjioga kissed his son's cheek and whispered to Zhou, "You go wash up and get ready to sleep." "Okay, let's go together." Zhou held Yunjioga's hand and scratched her palm. It had been a long time since they had been intimate. "Look at you." Yunjioga rolled his eyes at Zhou but still walked away with him. The little dragon man didn't know that his parents had gone to make younger siblings for him. He was sleeping on his back, drooling and his belly bulging. He was still practicing the black hole tree skill in his dreams. "Good job." Xiao once again appeared silently in the little dragon person's dream. "Ah, little black, you're here." The little dragon man turned around and excitedly rushed to Xiao. "Well, I'm ready. When will you come to pick me up?" Xiao looked at the little dragon man's chubby face and couldn't help but pinch it. Felt really good, like a big steamed bun. "Yow." The little dragon man vowed and completely threw his mother's advice to the back of his mind. "Yow." Xiao was slightly stunned. "Yes." The little dragon man was full of fighting spirit and couldn't wait to perform well. "Then I'll go back and wait for you." Xiao injected soul power into the vortex in the little dragon man's palm. "Go back, I'll pick you up soon." The little dragon man clenched his fist and waved it. Xiao faintly smiled and gradually disappeared. The little dragon man sat cross-legged on the ground and closed his eyes. His consciousness turned into the little golden dragon and entered the spacetime tunnel. The dark tunnel was like an oppressive and terrifying deep sea. From time to time there would be a spacetime storm. Even a true immortal would not dare to enter it easily. The little golden dragon was leisurely inside, swimming forward along the soul mark left by Xiao. Along the way he encountered many crossroads, but he could always find the right way. After wandering in the space-time tunnel for half an hour, he finally saw light and Xiao's familiar smell behind a hole. He did not hesitate to pass through the hole and finally came to Xiao's bedroom. So fast. Xiao was tidying up his things. He thought it would take at least a day for the little dragon man to come over. "Little Black, is this your home? Why is it so dark?" The little golden dragon looked at the bare bedroom and showed a sympathetic expression to Xiao. "My curse can't see the light. By the way, don't you like gems? These are for you." Xiao pointed to the things piled up on the ground. These were all things he asked his subordinates to do, and he was not in a hurry to tidy them up. "Let me see what it is." The little golden dragon's claws emitted a faint light, and the pile of things immediately reflected all kinds of dreamy light. There were tall red crystal coral trees, fist-sized luminous pearls, bags of shiny amethysts, turquoise. The little golden dragon was dazzled by the light. "Are these all for me?" The little golden dragon's saliva dripped down. Of course. These things were specially collected by him for the little dragon man. "Little Black, you are so kind." The little golden dragon immediately put the gems into his storage bag and then said excitedly to Xiao, "Let's go, I'll take you back now." "Wait." Xiao took out a black mask with silver edges and put it on his head. "We can go now." The little golden dragon opened his mouth and swallowed Xiao into his stomach, then flicked his tail and returned to the Kanglan realm. When Yunjioga and Zishang came back, they found that there was a masked man on the bed where their son had smashed. "Hello, uncle and aunt." Xiao sat on the bed of the little dragon man and greeted them politely. "When did you come?" Yunjioga was surprised. "Didn't we say we would pick you up 3 days later?" Xiao knew that the little dragon man was messing around. He didn't want the little dragon man to be scolded, so he took the initiative to take the blame and said, "I asked the little dragon man to bring me back in advance." Everything went well. Yunjioga looked at his son who was sleeping soundly and really wanted to beat him up. There was no one around to protect him and he dared to bring Xiao back in advance. He really deserved a beating. "Very well." Xiao nodded and then asked, "Where is the person who can help me get rid of the curse?" "He is in the lower realm. You should rest for a few days first and then we will go find him together." Yunjioga did not expect Xiao to come so fast. "No, I hope to leave today." "Why are you in such a hurry?" "Because I left without telling father and mother this time. I must go back as soon as possible, otherwise they will be worried," Xiao said. Yunjioga suddenly felt that he had stolen someone else's son. Chapter 571. Then let's set off later. The sooner we finish this, the sooner we can send him back. Zishang said to Yunjioga. "Good." Yunjioga put herself in his shoes. If her son was abducted, she would definitely explode. "Then I'll go and get Wuxia ready now." Zishang turned and left the Golden Dragon Palace. Yunjioga, on the other hand, lifted the blanket that was smashed by his son and woke him up. "Mother, what happened?" The little dragon man rubbed his eyes, not knowing what was going on. "Don't sleep, we're going to beat the bad guys. You have to help us open the passage later. Do you still have strength now?" Yunjioga held his son's little fat paw and checked the divine power in his body. "Yes," little dragon man shouted with great vigor. "Okay, put on your clothes and let's go find Uncle Wuxia." After confirming that his son still had a lot of divine power, Yunjioga helped him put on his clothes. "Little Black, can you walk?" The little dragon man turned to look at Xiao's feet. He remembered that Xiao said that his legs were cursed. "I have a means of transportation." Xiao took off the spirit beast bag at his waist and poured out a round black ball with a pair of inverted triangular eyes, which looked very fierce. "This is my pet Gru." Xiao patted the black ball, which automatically transformed into a black wheelchair. Each of the 2 handles had an eye that blinked at the little dragon man. "It's fun." The little dragon man reached out to touch Xiao's wheelchair, but was pulled back by Yunjioga. "Stop playing, your father is waiting for us." Yunjioga and the little dragon man walked in front and Xiao followed them. The 3 soon arrived at the main hall of the Divine Palace. At this time, Zishang and Wanxia's puppet army had assembled and were waiting for them. "Long, Can you make a passage to the lower realm here? Yun Jioge gestured in the middle of the hall. In order to avoid being caught off guard by Fan Yin's eyes in the Tsonglan realm, they must make a surprise move. Yes. The little dragon man walked to the middle of the hall and jumped. A black hole appeared on the bluestone slab under his feet, leading straight to the lower realm. Let's go. Yun Jioge lowered his voice and the group left the divine palace silently. It was late at night in the lower realm. The place where Yun Jioge and the others landed was a desolate wilderness. Are we going to the temple to look for Brahma? Zishang asked. No, let's save Hua Manchu first. Yun Jioge took out the little red flower that Hua Manchu had left behind and injected his spirit energy into it. A golden ray stretched toward the east. Yun Jioge took the little dragon man, Zishang took Xiu, and the group quietly followed the golden light to the depths of the innumerable mountains. Isn't this the goddess temple? Zishang looked at the dilapidated temple in the distance and recalled the path of death that led to the pocket dimension. This is a spatial chaotic point. Fan Yin must have set up many traps here. Wan Sha, take the puppet army and stand guard outside. We'll go in and take a look. Yun Jioge didn't dare to be careless with Fan Yin. Yes. Wan Sha nodded and the puppet army immediately dispersed, hiding in the darkness. Long Xiu, you must follow closely, we know. Yun Jioge bowed his head and said to his son and Xiu. Yes. The little dragon man looked very serious. Xiu was calm and didn't pay much attention to this broken mountain. Yun Jioge walked in front, the little dragon man and Xiu walked in the middle, and Zishang was at the back. The group followed the little red flower into the dilapidated temple and went deep underground. The underground passage was very dilapidated, and the black deathly aura spread all over it like a spider web. When the red flower floated here, it spontaneously combusted and disappeared without a trace. Didn't you close the passage when you left the pocket dimension? Zishang looked at the deep passage and remembered the scene when he first entered. It's closed. Fan Yin must have opened it again. Yun Jioge thought of the miserable state of the orcs in the pocket dimension and hated Fan Yin very much. She was really blind to think that Fan Yin was a good monk who bemoaned the state of the universe and pitied the fate of mankind. Shu, listen and see if there's a sound in front. Zishang stopped. Behind the wall. The little dragon man's ears were sharp and immediately heard a faint panting sound coming from the wall in front. Get out of the way. Zishang let Yun Jioge take his son and Xiu back a few steps and put his hand on the wall. The wall immediately cracked into countless pieces, revealing a black cocoon. Hua Manchu was trapped inside, moaning in pain with his eyes closed. Hua Manchu, are you all right? Yun Jioge walked over and patted his face. Hua Manchu did not respond. These black threads can extract spiritual power. I'll destroy them and you save Hua Manchu. A ball of purplish-black demonic flame emerged from Zishang's palm and burned the black silk until it crackled. Soon a big hole appeared on the silk. Yun Jioge grabbed Hua Manchu's shoulder and pulled him out. The remaining black threads escaped as if they were alive, and a rumbling sound immediately came from the underground passage. Countless blood-colored flower buds in the shape of skulls emerged from the sky and the ground and then bloomed. The dark passage suddenly became a sea of red. Those skull-shaped flowers crowded together like a group of demons dancing wildly. They were the bloody soul flowers that Yun Jioge had destroyed, but these bloody soul flowers were even more beautiful and strange than the ones she had seen before. Zishang sent out a black demon fire at those bloody soul flowers, but it was devoured completely. Yun Jioge used his golden god power, but he could not break out of the bloody soul flowers' encirclement. Don't waste your energy. I raised these bloody soul flowers with the reincarnation secret technique to restrain your god power. A man's voice sounded in the passage. Fan Yin, come out. Yun Jioge looked around and saw Fan Yin, wearing a red robe, emerging from the largest bloody soul flower in the middle. He looked down at Yun Jioge and the others and said, I didn't expect you to be able to avoid my eyes and ears and break into this place. Seems that your skills have improved. Fan Yin. Yun Jioge looked at his friend of thousands of years and asked word by word, why did you do this? For revenge, of course, Fan Yin said calmly. What grudge do I have with you? Yun Jioge frowned slightly. She had lived in the Divine Palace and only met Fan Yin 3,000 years ago and became good friends with him. She had always respected Fan Yin. Even when she crazily wanted the Son of Life, she did not have any thoughts of attacking him. It's not you. It's the divine palace that has a blood feud with me. Fan Yin's handsome face was set off by the bloody soul flowers, and the hatred between his brows was bone deep. The divine palace has always been upright and upright. What blood feud could there be with you? Yunjoga did not believe it. Ha ha ha. Fan Yin suddenly laughed mockingly. What are you laughing at? The moon spirit thread in Yunjoga's hand uncontrollably appeared. I'm laughing at your boasting. Fan Yin stopped smiling and looked at Yunjoga viciously. Upright and upright? That's just a lie to deceive the world. Chapter 572. What enmity do you have with the divine palace? Just say it. Don't blabber there. Zishang interrupted impatiently. In his opinion, he should capture Fan Yin and beat him up. Then he would naturally tell the truth. After my blood demon flowers devour you, I will naturally tell you. Fan Yin sneered. The blood demon flowers behind him sprayed out countless bloody mists that rushed towards them. Zishang's hands turned into dragon claws and tore all the blood demon flowers that rushed towards him into pieces. Yunjoga used his divine power to make a golden shield to block the bloody mists. He used the power of the extraterrestrial demon to cultivate these blood demon flowers. My demon power is useless against it. Zishang retreated to Yunjoga's side and said, these blood demon flowers had a powerful corrosive power, even more powerful than Ogre's black water. If they wanted to kill their way out, they could only use their flesh and blood. No, these blood demon flowers are not only cultivated with magic but also with divine power. Where did Fan Yin get divine power? Brother Yunjio felt that it was a bit unbelievable. Could it be that her divine spark was stolen in the secret territory? But her divine power was not damaged. Can you use the power of space to seal these blood demon flowers? Zishang asked his son. There are too many flowers. I can't seal them all. The little dragon man raised his hand and pointed forward. After the blood demon flowers disappeared, new ones immediately appeared. These blood demon flowers must have source power. Only by finding the source can we completely destroy them. Zishang smashed the blood demon flowers that rushed towards him. With Fan Yin's character, the source power of the blood demon flowers must be on him. Yunjoga opened her spirit eye and searched carefully, but there were too many blood demon flowers. The passage was blood red and she could not find Fan Yin at all. At this time the passage began to break. The little dragon man suddenly waved his fists and let out a loud cry. A golden red power of the passage enveloped the divine power shield and floated up. Not good, the passage is about to collapse. We must leave as soon as possible or we will fall into the void. Zishang said in a hurry. There were turbulence and storms everywhere in the void. With the little dragon man's current ability, it was impossible to protect everyone. After I suck away these blood demon flowers, you should seize the opportunity to find Fan Yin, Xiao suddenly said. Can you do it? Although Yunjoga invited Xiao as a trump card, there were too many blood demon flowers. I'll know after I try. Xiao patted his wheelchair and grew turned back into a round black ball. Its inverted triangular eyes widened, then it opened its bloody mouth and swallowed all the blood demon flowers. The blood demon flowers in the passageway howled miserably, but they were still forced to transform into a surging torrent and were sucked away by Gru. Xiao floated in the air and between his body and the black ball, there was a red band of light as if Gulu had turned into his big mouth. The blood demon flowers had to go through Gulu's filter before entering his body. Yun saw Xiao not for Xiao Yun Hang and Monk. Yun 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 Hang Yun 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 Fan Yun Hang Xiao and Yun 1 and 1 Fan Hang and Tian Fan Fan, 1 Fan Fan and a Fan. Wait. Fan Fan and he and Fan Fan. Fan however did not move at all. Yunjoga kept increasing his divine power, falling into a stalemate with Fan. Xiao, who was crazily absorbing the power of the blood demon flowers, did not look good. Father, help mother, the little dragon man shouted anxiously. Zishang, seeing this, turned around, put his hand on Yunjoga's back, and poured all his demon power into him. She and Yunjoga had been cultivating together for a long time so they could switch their powers at will. With Zishang's help, Yunjioga's thunderfire needle turned into a golden sword and pierced Fan Yin's Buddhist seal. Fan Yin staggered back a few steps, then his moon spirit thread shot out and tied him up. A red skull appeared on Fan Yin's chest and a fierce power burst out. The moon spirit thread bounced off and was burned to ashes by Fan Yin's blood demon flower fire. Fan Yin looked hatefully at Xiao, who was still absorbing the blood demon flowers. He knew that he could not take down Yunjioga and the others today, so he turned to escape. Fan Yin, give me back my sister's life. A clear voice suddenly sounded. Yu Qing'er, who was holding an immortal sword, stood in front of Fan Yin. Qing'er. Yunjioga looked at the puppet army uniform on Yu Qing. He did not expect that she would mix in with the puppet army. A small spirit race dares to block my path? Scram. Fan Yin's two fingers clamped down on Yu Qing'er's spirit power and suddenly exerted force. Yu Qing'er's immortal sword broke inch by inch. Her face turned pale and she coughed out a mouthful of blood. Qing'er, back off. Yunjioga shouted. This little girl was not Fan Yin's match at all. Yu Qing'er did not listen to Yunjioga's order, and she charged at Fan Yin with her bare hands. Since this little girl wants to die, then I will help you. Fan Yin formed a seal with both hands, and the skull blood demon flower turned into a heavy hammer that struck Yu Qing'er's chest. Yu Qing'er coughed out blood and her body flew backward. Yunjioga wanted to save Yu Qing'er, but he heard her chanting the spirit race ancestor, and she actually sacrificed her soul. A pure white power surged out from her heart, and it merged with the blood floating in the tunnel. Yu Ling'er's image appeared where the moon spirit thread disappeared. Her hands carried a faint gold light as she pounced at Fan Yin and she tied him up. Fan Yin landed heavily on the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. He struggled, but the moon spirit thread tied him up even tighter. He was trapped in a cocoon of his own making. Qing'er, are you okay? Yunjioga rushed to Yu Qing'er's side. Sister. Yu Qing'er looked at Yu Ling'er's image and she wanted to touch her. I am sorry. Yu Ling'er held her sister's hand and tears of regret flowed down her face. This was her final regret. It is okay, I forgive you. Yu Qing'er smiled and then she closed her eyes. Her hand fell down. Qing'er. Yunjioga tried his best to inject God power into Yu Qing'er's body, but after she sacrificed her soul was destroyed like Yu Ling. Spirit race people are really stupid. Fan Yin smiled coldly. Shut up. Zishang punched him in the face. Fan Yin's head turned to the left and he spat out a mouthful of bloody teeth. Then he laughed out loud. Zishang punched him, but he couldn't stop his maniacal laughter. Stop fighting. This trash isn't worth our energy. Yunjioga got up and looked coldly at the battered Fan Yin like he was looking at a pile of mud. Fight, why aren't you fighting? Fan Yin raised his head and looked mockingly at Yunjioga. Your god palace is going against the grain. Even if I die, there will be millions of people who will stand up to fight you. Chapter 573. Yunjioga sighed slightly and took back Yu Qing'er's body. She was about to leave the passage with her son and Xiao when she heard her son's frightened voice. Little Black, what's wrong with you? Yunjioga quickly turned around and saw that Xiao had fallen to the ground. The black sphere's belly was swollen and it was filled with blood-red liquid. Mother, quickly save Little Black. The little dragon man cried anxiously. Yunjioga quickly helped Xiao examine his body and found that the power in his body was very chaotic. The black demonic qi and red blood demonic power were all tangled together. The most difficult thing was the power of the curse that came out of his feet. It was like maggots sticking to his legs. How is Xiao? Zishang crouched beside him and asked worriedly. After he absorbed the power of the blood soul flower, it caused the curse to backfire. It must be immediately removed. Yunjioga quickly replied. Let's leave here first. Zishang picked up his son with one hand and turned around to take Xiao, but he was sent flying by a force. The black sphere opened its arms and turned into a big sphere that enveloped Yunjioga and Xiao, not letting Zishang approach. Gru, what are you doing? Zishang asked. Gru, she can't leave until Master is cured. Gru said angrily with its inverted triangular eyes. You. Zishang was furious. Just as he was about to reason with Gru, Wan Sha suddenly jumped down from above and said anxiously, Not good. 2 extraterrestrial demon gods suddenly appeared outside the Azure Sea realm. They are clamoring for our sons. Zishang frowned. He didn't expect that Xiu's parents would come at this time. He raised his hand and broke the underground passage to look outside. Under the clear sky and bright sun, it was dark outside. He used his spiritual power to look through the sky curtain and saw two incomparably huge demon gods standing on the left and right outside the Zhonglan boundary. Both demonic gods had black hair and black eyes. The male demonic god had a single horn on his forehead and the female demonic god had a pair of sheep horns. The figures of the two demonic gods were very huge. One of them occupied half of the continent. The immortals of the Blue Waves realm were scared out of their wits. One after another they ran to the divine palace to look for Yun Jioga. The substitute that Wan Sha had left behind was on the verge of collapse. You ants actually dare to hide my son's cultivation. Hurry up and hand him over. Otherwise I will flatten your azure wave continent. Emotion's voice penetrated the barrier and resounded throughout the entire azure wave continent. Is the Xiu they are talking about the boy who followed you? Wan Sha had felt that the boy sitting in the wheelchair had an extraordinary temperament. At first glance he could tell that he was not an ordinary person. Yes. Zishang nodded. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and hand him over. Wan Sha was furious. Zishang's actions were too unethical. What was the point of abducting someone else's son? I want to hand it over too, but I don't have a choice now. Zishang helplessly pointed at Gru, who was staring at them with its triangular eyes. Yun Jioga wanted to bring Xiu back to the divine palace after things were over, and then help her in the spirit gathering array. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. Now he could only bite the bullet. He took out his divine spark and placed it on Xiu's chest, using the golden divine power to help him dispel the power of the curse. Those two emotions are not to be trifled with. If this goes on, I'm afraid our azure wave realm won't be able to stop them. Wan Sha helplessly said. Then I will go and explain the situation to him. Zishang said. Don't go. If something happens to Xiu, those two emotions will definitely vent their anger on your head. Wan Sha quickly said. It didn't matter if Zishang was beaten, but he didn't want to implicate Yun Jioga. Zishang hesitated for a moment and finally said, then I will first look at the situation. If the people of Azure Wave Realm couldn't stop them, then he could go out and explain. The voices of the emotion outside the barrier were getting louder and louder. The sky was getting darker and darker. It was so quiet and oppressive that it made people shudder. The people of the entire Azure Wave continent felt that something was wrong and there was panic everywhere. Blackie's father and mother looked so fierce. The little dragon man hid in Zishang's arms and secretly said. Because Blackie sneaked out without telling his father and mother. His father and mother are very angry, so they came to spank his little butt. You can't learn from him in the future, understand? Zishang took the opportunity to teach his son a lesson. I won't learn from him. I am a good child. The little dragon man hugged his father's neck and said coquettishly. Good boy. Zishang kissed his son. Suddenly there was a clap of thunder outside. Suddenly there was a gust of wind and the sky was so dark that it seemed like it was about to collapse. The two emotion had already endured to the extreme. They stretched out their mountain-like fists and ruthlessly smashed on the outside of Azure Wave Realm. The entire Azure Wave Realm trembled. The earth cracked and the seawater flowed backwards. No, I have to go up and find them. Help me take care of Long. Zishang stuffed the little dragon man into Wan Sha's arms and turned into a huge black dragon, flying towards Azure Wave Realm. Just as the male emotion was about to punch for the second time, he heard a thunderous voice. Stop. The male emotion stopped his fist and looked at the black dragon that flew in front of him. He spoke in a muffled voice. Are you the decision maker of Azure Wave Realm? That's right. It's him. The Azure Wave Realm's immortals responded in unison. Zishang looked at these cowards with disdain. He then flew in front of the male emotion and said, You are Xiu's parents, right? My name is Zishang. Your son is indeed with us. What did you do to my son? The female emotion's sharp voice echoed and nearly ruptured Zishang's eardrums. Your son is fine. We just want to help him remove the curse. Zishang quickly said. You're lying. The curse on my son is 10,000 years of resentment. There is no way to remove it. The male emotion said angrily. Ordinary methods are indeed unable to remove it. However, our Azure Wave Realms goddess has the power to expel it. She is currently sacrificing herself to help your son remove the curse. If you interrupt her, the consequences will be unimaginable. Xianxia said solemnly. Can she really save my son? The female emotion quickly asked. Of course, I have no need to lie. Xianxia replied affirmatively. Bring me to see them immediately. The two emotion returned to the size of a normal person. They then passed through the Azure Wave barrier and arrived in front of Xianxia. Follow me. Xianxia brought the two emotion back to the passageway of the goddess mountain in the lower domain. At this moment, the work of expelling the curse was at a critical moment. Although most of the curse power had been forced out by Yunjioga's divine lattice, there were still two pieces of the biggest curse power stuck on his leg bones. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't pull them out. Xiao groaned in pain. He only felt that every bone in his body was in pain. Yunjioga's entire body was covered in sweat. He gritted his teeth and persevered. If he couldn't remove it in one go, it would be troublesome in the future. Just as Yunjioga was about to be unable to persevere, he suddenly heard two unfamiliar voices coming from outside. Use these two divine lattices to break the curse power. Yunjioga turned his head and saw two unfamiliar emotion and male emotion walking in. They were holding two small pieces of golden divine lattices in their hands. Yunjioga guessed that these two emotion should be Xiao's parents, so he took the two divine lattices and placed them on Xiao's leg bones. The last two pieces of curse power flew out of Xiao's body. He turned into a winged snake and wanted to escape. The male emotion immediately grabbed the flying snake and stuffed it into his Qianquan bag. The female emotion immediately rushed to Xiao's side, hugged him in her arms and kept calling, "Baby, wake up." Xiao slowly opened his eyes and looked at his mother and father's faces in confusion. He thought he was dreaming because he hadn't seen his father and mother for 1,000 years. Child, your curse has finally been completely expelled. It's great. The female emotion cried with joy. Warm tears fell on Xiao's face. He finally felt real. Mother, don't cry. I'm fine. You should be happy. Xiao reached out and wiped away his mother's tears. You're right. We should be happy. The female emotion quickly wiped away her tears and showed a happy expression. The male emotion was also very happy to see his son recover. He touched his son's head with relief, then turned to look at Xianxia and Yunjioga. You kidnapped my son. How are you going to settle this account? The male emotion said with a sullen face. What do you mean? Yunjioga frowned. He saved their son. Was this their attitude? I mean, you kidnapped my son. You must compensate for it. I think you should take out your godhood and Azure Waves continent to apologize to my son. The male emotion said righteously. Yunjioga gritted his teeth in anger and was about to argue with Xiao's father when the little dragon man suddenly jumped out angrily. Scoundrel, don't bully my mother. This little dragon is not bad. It's good to take it back to stew soup. The female emotion picked up the little dragon man by the nape of its neck and looked it up and down with satisfaction. Let go of my son. Xianxia and Yunjioga were about to rush up when Xiao stood up and took the little dragon man from his mother's hand. You are not allowed to touch my things. Xiao pursed his lips, revealing his white teeth. Boy, the curse has just been removed and you dare to challenge me? Do you have the ability? The male emotion put on a serious face. If you don't believe me, you can try. Xiao's face was calm. Gru turned into two huge devil eyes suspended in the air and projected a huge phantom. It was not smaller than the phantom drawn by his father and mother. Good, you are worthy of being my son. The male demon god suddenly laughed and patted his son's shoulder as he said, This continent is yours. I will have people report this to the Outer Space Alliance. In the future, no one will be able to touch this continent. All the creatures here are yours, and anyone who dares to touch them will be enemies with our ancient black demon race. Only then did Xiao take back Gru. He nodded in a very reserved and cold manner and said, Then hurry up and do it. It must be done before we go home. Good, good, good. We will do it now. The female emotion lovingly rubbed Xiao's head. Then she pulled her husband's hand and rushed to the Beyond Heaven Alliance. She was afraid that if she did not do well, her son would be unhappy. Sorry, my father was too impulsive just now. I apologize on their behalf. Xiao said to Yunjioga and Xianxia with embarrassment. Your father said that this continent is yours. What does that mean? Yunjioga's face was cold. She couldn't have saved an ingrate, right? Your Azure Waves continent is too low level. You need someone to recommend you to register with the Beyond Heaven Alliance. Otherwise, you will become a slave territory of others sooner or later. Xiao simply explained. What he meant was that Azure Waves continent now had the Black Ancient Demon race as a backer. In the future, no one would have any ideas on them. When their Azure Waves continent developed, they could go to the Beyond Heaven Alliance to fight for the position of a middle-level world. That is really great. Yunjioga heaved a sigh of relief. This was the result she wanted. Let's go back first. Although the two Mo gods had left, there were still many things to deal with. Yunjioga put away Yu Qing'er's corpse. Together with Zhi Shang, they left the underground passage and returned to the Divine Palace. 500 years later, the grown-up little dragon Zhi Yunlan represented the Azure Waves realm. During the Beyond Heaven Alliance's evaluation conference, she successfully won the position of a middle-level world for the Azure Waves realm. She and Xiao began a new journey in the Beyond Heaven Alliance. The error-free chapter of Best Grade Spirit Doctor, Demon Emperor Too Fierce will continue to be updated on the Green Bean novel website. There will be no advertisements in the website. Please collect and recommend to the Green Bean novel website. You're tuning in to the Zhou Xian's Legacy YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.